They made jokes about OJ, and I don't believe OJ was no saint at all. But the grace the woman received was unfair, if you ask me.
What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? Welcome back to Moxy Approved. It's been almost a week before the great OJ Simpson has passed. And just like how you would expect, the conversation has definitely not went toward him being one of the greatest football players of all time. No, we all know where the conversation went. It went all the way back to the Nicole Brown Simpson case.
You're the only one who knows really the truth.
No, there's somebody else that knows the truth.
Who's that?
The person who killed him.
Now, after watching a great stream on the 5150 show with Holcomb and Kraig Smith, I wasn't even gonna do an OJ Simpson video, but they brought up some good points that I looked up, and it happened to be factual about OJ Simpson definitely having some type of argument for actually being innocent.
And you'd be damn near destroyed before people want to accept the truth. That's what happened to OJ.
I mean, I know that about OJ. Nobody ever understood. I mean, like, the bitch was at his house with another dude.
Worse than that. You want to know? I found out some shit about the OJ case 2 days ago that I bet y'all don't even know.
Give it to me.
Do you know who Glenn Rogers is?
Now wait, before I start cooking and we get too far in this video, please do me one small favor. Apply pressure to that subscribe button. Yes, apply pressure to that subscribe button.
Glenn Rogers, better known as the cross-country killer, was Nicole Brown Simpson's handyman.
What do you mean?
He was her handyman was a serial killer. He was convicted. He killed 4 blondes. He was convicted of killing 4 blondes. That was his thing. He was from Ohio. He was her handyman, which means he was at her house a couple times a week. He was convicted of killing 4 people 4 women in 1995, and during the time of the murders, and for years before that, he was her handyman.
And they never knew.
And they never brought that shit up in the media.
Now, the Glenn Rogers situation, I want to say I don't understand it, but I do understand it. Just the fact that you have a guy that's actually a known serial killer that was working at Nicole Brown Simpson's house. He actually told his brother that she got to go.
They got money, they're well off, and I'm taking her down.
His brother,
that one. I've seen that
his
one.
brother told the police, my brother murdered Nicole Brown Simpson. He admitted to me he murdered her, and he actually admitted to murdering her.
Rogers was able to draw a detailed picture of the knife he claims to have used to kill the victims.
Now, why a family and law enforcement would not want to fully and thoroughly investigate a guy that is a known serial killer that worked at Nicole Brown Simpson's house, that came out and said that he killed Nicole Brown Simpson.
In an interview with a criminal profiler, Glenn allegedly claimed that OJ Simpson had hired him to steal a pair of earrings and kill his former wife during the robbery. Glenn also provided specific details about the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, which further supported his claim that he committed the brutal murders.
It seems like to me, his brother wanted more justice for this than her own damn family.
Fred said for ABC News, "The fact of the acquittal at the hands of the jury will never wash away this murder from the hands of OJ Simpson, no matter how many Glenn Rogers pop up on the media radar screen."
I personally don't believe in coincidences. That's a hell of a coincidence that a guy that got convicted for being a serial killer worked at Nicole Brown Simpson's house. And on the other hand, the victims had torture cuts.
They make it seem like when they were murdered that somebody just stabbed them up. That wasn't how the murder took place. They had torture cuts on their body, which means somebody cut them in places where they could bleed out and tortured them before they actually slit their throat. And a lot of people have the Colombian necktie thing as well. I don't know if that's true because I haven't seen the photos, but if somebody is seasoned enough as a killer to cut you to where it could torture you, meaning if you move you'll bleed out more, both of them had torture cuts. Then on top of that, the restaurant that Goldman worked at, a few of his co-workers were murdered the same way before he got murdered.
I also do remember that documentary that OJ Simpson did.
I don't know if y'all remember, OJ did a 3-hour documentary where he went over all the evidence in the case, himself, and walked you through it, where they found it in the crib. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was weird to see him in this state because as a 41-year-old man now, I now see, All that nigga had was really his reputation. So even though he knew he didn't do it, he was still trying to salvage his reputation.
This home video cassette documents his first public words and examines the controversial evidence found at his Rockingham home.
And not in just that documentary, but some of the interviews, OJ made some great points.
Just trying to get something as simple as phone records from the Browns. These guys had to go to court 3 times.
OJ was on a plane to Chicago at a time when Nicole was still alive and on a phone call with her mother. But they sealed the phone records for 75 years.
All we wanted was the official phone records because, if you recall, Mr. Brown said that they spoke to Nicole at a time that would have been after I went to the airport. They wanted the official phone records that we found out were never presented in court. And I think they had to go to 3 or 4 trials to get it, and the judge always ruled against it. I've always felt that you had to sit Faye Rusnick down because she did her interview. And they went out to check all of these stories she told, and they found out she was lying every step of the way. And they never went back to find out why she was lying now.
I think Faye Resnick, her name is not brought up enough in this case.
Faye was the one that told the most lies almost immediately, and she went out trying to recruit girls to lie with her. Of course, Nicole's best friends wouldn't go along with it.
The woman made so much money off of Nicole Brown Simpson's death. She wrote a book, she did Playboy covers, and this was all on the premise of her being Nicole Brown Simpson's best friend. But let's be honest, OJ Simpson was his own worst enemy many times. What he did that pretty much reeled back everything he said in that documentary and what he said in interviews is when he wrote that dumb book that, if I believe it's something like, if I did it, this how I would have done it. And this stems from another issue that I don't necessarily call it a problem because for me, I believe it's something personal. OJ Simpson obviously did not care about Nicole Brown Simpson dying. It was obvious that he was rather happy. That doesn't make him a killer and that doesn't make him guilty. Remember, when you hear all the things that Nicole Brown Simpson did, they were beyond unruly for a wife, an ex-wife, or a baby mama to be doing. I remember it was one report that OJ came home and Nicole Brown Simpson was in the living room with the kids having intercourse in front of the kids. Do you remember what Chris Rock said about this?
And I'm not saying he should have killed her, but I understand.
Now, him not feeling no remorse about this, it does not make him guilty. And I will add this, that the OJ Simpson case, I agree it does represent injustice, but not how those folks want to put it out. It represents injustice. OJ Simpson, all he did was take advantage of their corrupt justice system, right? He used it against them and it worked in his favor. Fair is fair. The law is the law. But since he successfully did that, it became a passive-aggressive battle to put OJ and Simpson in jail for whatever. If OJ Simpson would have racked up a whole bunch of parking tickets, and that's something you can get arrested for, he would have went to jail probably for 20 years for unpaid parking tickets.
In addition to the $25 administrative assessment and the $150 DNA fee, I'm going to sentence you as follows.
I will never forget how this OJ Simpson case represents injustice when he got sentenced for that robbery case in Vegas. Look at the judge and look at what she says. It's a whole bunch of bullshit.
I'm not here to try and cause any retribution or any payback for anything else. I want that to be perfectly clear to everyone.
I remember this sentencing and I remember the judge's face. When I see this whole sentencing and I see the judge's face, guess what? When I hear this, I feel no type of soul involved with this. When I see this judge, when I look in her eyes, I see demons. I see demons. One of the best quotes I've heard about this case, it comes from Bill Maher.
I don't blame them one bit for cheering him on. I mean, when you're on the wrong end of the justice system, for as long as they had been, when they finally got one, even though he was not exactly the best recipient of that. I mean, of course, it was, I mean, when we saw that split screen of white people going, oh my God, justice has not been done, and black people screaming in joy, totally understand
Yeah,
it.
I
You can't have two different complete histories in America and then expect people to have the same reaction to something like that.
At the end of the day, everything OJ did in football will definitely be overshadowed by the Nicole Brown Simpson's case. Some of the things that were said, I disagree with. I think it was okay that we didn't have OJ Simpson's back after this case because OJ Simpson really didn't mess with us. I will fall short of calling him a straight up coon because I can't remember a lot of coonish things that OJ Simpson actually said. It was the way he carried himself, and when you looked at the remnants of his life, it just came off as kind of coonish. How do you feel about that? And any other thoughts you want to put in the comments section, let me know how y'all feel. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxy Approved, right? With that water. I'll see y'all here next time on Moxy Approved.